Hello friends and professionals, as you are aware that we are discussing the 12 different principles of the project management which recently introduced in the PMBOK version 7, and in that also we are specifically discussing the ninth principle, that is the complexity. And complexity, how it's impact the project, what are the factors that contributing to the complexity, and how we can navigate that complexity. That all things we are going to discuss in today's session. So are you ready? Let's begin. So this particular slide of the complexity we took from the PMBOK version 7, and that says that we have to navigate the complexity. So how we can navigate the complexity? What are the challenges which need to overcome, and is there any way by which we can compromise on the complexity? Let's discuss that. So first try to understand what is the project complexity. So as you see over here, there are many factors that contributing to the complexity, like uncertainty, volatility, unknown, uniqueness of the project, and there are limiting constraints that all contribute, and many more. There are few indicated over here. So complexity is the characteristics of a project or its environment that is difficult to manage due to human behavior, system behavior, and the ambiguity. The nature of the complexity cannot be controlled, so that you need to understand, because that is a limitation. You cannot control everything, right? So though project team can modify their actions or activities to address the impact that occurs as a result of the complexity. So we have a limited controls. We cannot control the things which is like external and internal, but somehow we can try to address that by changing and uh, introducing and activities that might impact the complexity. So let's try to understand that what are the common source of the complexity that can contribute to the complexity. So first would be the human behavior, second would be the system behavior, third would be your uncertainty or ambiguity, and the fourth would be the technological innovation. So this is not just a limited one, there are many. This is just an indicative list what we had mentioned over here, but what are the things that we are going to discuss one by one. So human behavior, what do you mean by the human behavior? It is interplay of the conduct, attitude, and experience of the people that contribute for the project. So by introducing elements of subjectivity such as personal agenda, sometimes might be conflict with the project and the organization goal. So that is something which are tricky things. Some people's are characters are not aligned with the project's goals and vision. Stakeholders located in the remote location may have different time zones. They may speak different language altogether, and they have different cultures known. They may increase the complexity of your project, so that you need to understand what are that and how you're going to manage that, human factors involved in that. Second would be your system behavior. It is because it's all are interconnected, that it is result of dynamic interdependency with among the project elements. So there is critical path which needs to be complied. So for example, the integration of different technology systems that cause threat or impact on the project goal, so that you need to understand that is a system behavior that is different from the human behavior. Even I can say that human behavior is more complex than the system behavior, because in a system behavior you can able to predict the things, you can able to diagnose the things, but human behavior is completely unpredictable, that differ from person to person, and that is having many factors contributing to that. Now try to understand what you mean by the uncertainty. So uncertainty arises due to the lack of understanding and awareness of issues or known. For the what would be the following solution or the issues which we are trying to deal with. Uncertainty includes unknown, known unknown, and black swan theory that we are going to discuss in couple of minutes, which are emerging factors that are completely outside an existing knowledge of the experience. Let me give you an example to understand the black swan theory. So here, as you say that there are known things and unknown things. So known thing, if if I wanted to give an example, it says that not wearing a seatbelt can cause an accident, right? So that is the fact that you know, that is known to you. What is unknown, known unknown, the Venn diagram, that is intersection point, that says that some drunk and drive can hit my car. So if you drunk and drive, so you can hit the car, but when you can hit that you don't know, but there is a high probability. So that is known unknown, and there is unknown, that is a black swan event, that is beyond your knowledge domain. So you cannot even predict that things might happen, like the COVID impact. So in 2000 or 2004 5, we don't know that in 2019 that this COVID may impact. So that is unknown things. That is, I will give you an example by this universe. Like in this universe, we are a very teeny dot. So there are so many things which is beyond our imagination, which we don't even know. So that's the unknown factors. That is a black swan event that may occur. So how you can deal with that, that we discuss in upcoming slides, but try to understand the ambiguity first. So ambiguity is the state of being unclear, of not knowing what to expect or how to comprehend a situation. Ambiguity can arise from having many options or a lack of clarity on the optional choices we have. We are living in 21st century where we have many options available that might increase our complexity, because we get confused at what to do and what to choose and what not to choose. Unclear and misleading event, emerging issue, and subject to situation can also lead to an ambiguity. Now I will simplify that. Like some are call a cab, and she respond like, okay, you are a cab. So it's a joke, but it is kind of misinterpretation, because peoples are not used to their behavior and culture barrier that goes. So there are the maybe things, means there are many directions, but you don't know which direction to go. That is related to the ambiguity. So if I wanted to explain this by a diagram, this is a time, the x-axis is a time and the y-axis is the degree of uncertainty or ambiguity. So if you check the dotted red line, that indicate the uncertainty. So in your project, once the times come, so from initiation to closing, you get more the clarity. So your uncertainty is reduced when your project move from initiation to closing, because things are get clear and you get more certain things, right? So that is the uncertainty. But the green X, it's showing your ambiguity. So that is completely different. There is no correlation that your ambiguity might be at the high at the beginning and low at the end. It may be fluctuate like this. It's too volatile. So this is the how the ambiguity and the uncertainty behave in the project environment, and how you can reduce that, that we will discuss. But try to understand the one more source of the complexity, that is technological innovation, that is constantly changing world. The 5G spectrum, we are moving from industrial revolution 1 to industrial revolution 4, the IoT things and all things, blockchains and all these new technologies along with their technology contribute to the complexity, because you need to understand what are the replications. The privacy is the paramount in the shared data kind of environment. So all that can contribute to the complexity. Now, as if I wanted to summarize the complexity principle, that is the one key slide that we call VUCA world. We all live in a VUCA world, that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So volatility indicate here that is something which is constantly fluctuating with you don't have the control, like stock market, the oil price, the dollar, and all that are constantly fluctuation, that is indicating volatility. How to respond to volatility? By having a vision that give you a direction, that in which direction you wanted to give your effort. The second thing is uncertainty, that in a very limited time you don't know what would going to be happen next, like when the COVID impacted, when we are finding vaccination, and what would be the next thing. lockdown and other things. So that is uncertainty. So how you can respond to uncertainty? By understanding the problem, that how you're going to respond. The third is the complexity, that you are having a misinterpretation of the things, and the things are so interconnected with each other, and that creating more complex environment. You can solve that by clarity, focus, and trying to having a flexible culture to respond to the complexity. And finally, the ambiguity, because we are living in a VUCA world which having that ambiguity, where we have a different culture and we are working with that. So how you can respond that? By using an agility, that decisions making with innovation. We have a wide spectrum of the people team working on that goals. So that is how we can respond to the ambiguity. So this is how we can navigate the complexity in the VUCA world. So this is a good example. Now, PMBOK7 summarized the navigate complexity by knowledge of the system thinking, that the principle that we need to understand. We are having a systems of the systems. We are a part of the bigger machine, so that the system thinking knowledge you need to develop. Experience from the past projects and the wisdom, if you can uh, uh, bring to the table, that also bring help you to navigate the complexity. And constant learning, because we are in a VUCA world, that is required that you should constantly learn the things. Being vigilant and indication of the complexity, that what are the things changing in your surroundings. You should be vigilant and be ready on your toes. And finally, allow the project team to adapt their approaches and the plans based on the situation what they are facing. So it's a time for a situational leadership, by which we can try to navigate the complex environment. So this is the complexity principles which for the PMBOK version 7. I hope you had learned from that, and you can able to solve or navigate through the complex environment. For any suggestion or feedback, you can write in the comment section, and stay tuned for more upcoming knowledge sharing sessions on the project management and the principles. Thank you very much.